inspired, fully engaged. You're tuning in to Reality with Vicki Gunvalson.
So hey everyone, welcome back to Reality with Vicki. I've got such a great guest on today. Her name is Analisa, and I've had the privilege of meeting her about 4 years ago. We have a love for Puerto Vallarta the same, but those of you that are tuning in today, this is going to be really kind of an interview to me from Analisa. And I want to thank all of you for subscribing to Reality with Vicki. Please give me 5 stars, because you know how I love 5 stars, and just continue to stay tuned. We got lots of fun things coming up. So thanks, Analisa, for taking time today to come on Reality with Vicki.
Thank you. So I am so excited to interview you. So I'd like to interview the guest for this week's Reality with Vicki. Vicki, you're known to so many for your years on a reality show. And I can see those that only know you from the show don't really know the real you. Because this podcast is about real reality, I wanted the chance and the opportunity to show your fans the real person that I've come to know over the years.
Okay.
I think it's safe to say that your most prized roles in life are mom, grandma, sister, and friend.
Mm-hmm.
Your passion and dedication are truly inspiring, and you make a wonderful role model.
Thank you.
Professionally, for people that don't know, over 32 years of experience as a successful insurance and financial service advisor. You're the founder and president of Koto Insurance, a master elite IRA advisor, a member of the $1 Million Roundtable, which is earned, not an award just given out. You're a best-selling author, a financial wellness educator and influencer, an advocate for debt.com, and a top podcaster. And last check, you were in the top 10% of all time for podcasts in the entertainment category. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And the other secondary roles that, as far as I'm concerned, is that you are the ambassador and queen to Puerto Vallarta.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, I have some questions that I want to ask you, both professionally and personally. So let's start with the professional.
Okay.
Tell everyone how you got your start in the insurance industry.
Well, I was 28 years old and finding myself getting divorced from Michael and Brianna's dad. And he was everything you did not want in a husband. So I asked him for a divorce and he said, sure. And I said, didn't ask you if you want to take the kids for ice cream. Do you want a divorce? You're never home. You're drinking on the job. He was working for my dad at the time. He was having multiple affairs and just not a good husband or father. So 6 weeks later in Chicago, we didn't have to do this 6-month live apart thing. We were divorced, and my girlfriend came over one day and she was sitting outside with me. We had a beer, because that's what we do in Chicago, is have beers and pizzas. And she said, what are you going to do? What are you going to do for a living? And I said, I'm going to work for my dad's construction company. I do his accounting and payroll. And she said, well, do you have life insurance on Mike? And I said, no, I don't. And she said, is he going to pay you child support? I said, I doubt it. And she goes, well, why don't we get a life insurance policy on him? Like $500,000. It was like $40 a month, super cheap. And so we did. And Mike agreed to the physical. And I asked her what she made on it. And it was about $400, $400 to $500 for her to sign me up for that policy on Mike. And I couldn't believe it, because I had to work about 2 weeks at my dad's construction office to make that kind of money. So I asked her, I said, what's it take to become licensed? And she said, you got to go get your life and health license. As soon as you got your license, call me. I'm working for an all-man industry called Western Southern Life. She was the only female insurance agent. And she was also a single mother of 3. So I went and got my license. I studied at night, studied on the weekends, and I got my test passed, and I got hired by Western Southern Life. It was her and I were the only females of about 50 men. And I worked for my dad during the day, and then at night I would go sell insurance. And I became quickly the #1 agent. And I couldn't believe how easy it was to become the #1 agent, because a lot of these other agents had become sedentary in what they could make in a living. They were just happy with their $30,000 a year. They didn't want any more, and they were sedentary. I needed to pay for daycare, my new condo, all the different things that I had up against me being a single mom with no child support. So that was my first venture. It was 29 years old, and I stayed working for Western Southern Life Insurance, which is a debit business. So those of you that know what that is or don't know what that is, I would actually get a book of business that has already been sold by another agent, and I would have to go out and collect the premiums at night. So I'd be downtown in Chicago in Cabrini Green, the worst part of the city, collecting $5, $10, $15 a week premiums in hopes that I could upsell them into a $30 a month premium or so on. And that was the way I started my business. And after about a year, I realized it was not healthy for me to be out alone at night in these really scary neighborhoods. And so I went and looked online, and I found an agency near where I lived that was looking for female. They didn't say it specifically in there, but for women to women businesses that were going to be able to do Medicare. And back then we didn't have sex discrimination. It was just, we're looking for, because the females touching the seniors was really popular, and it still is. So we have a different way of selling. And so I became, again, a super number one agent, loved it. And I was dating Don at the time, dated him for 3 years. And then he moved me to California. I didn't think I had to work here. I thought we could just, live this privileged life with this rich man. And there we had it that I couldn't. So I continued to work selling insurance, opened my own practice. And that was, it's been 32 years now. So
it's been 32 years since you had Koto.
Yep. It's been a good
So explain to people, I see people think Koto and they think, it's like a Geico or State Farm. Will you explain what Koto is?
Yes.
As a brand.
So Koto Insurance and Financial Services is, Koto obviously is where I've lived for the last 24 years. It is a broker. So what I do is I've got my contracts with every insurance company in the state of California, except your Farmers, your State Farm, your Allstate. Those are considered captive agents and captive agencies. So Geico has its own policies. State Farm has their own policies. They cannot shop Progressive, Prudential, Banner, AIG. They are strictly selling their own product, which most likely is a disadvantage because they're not working with all the companies. So what we do is have an algorithm, and we put in your information. We shop every single insurance company there is, whether it's auto, home, life insurance, health insurance, Medicare, estate planning. And then we shop it and we find out what is the best company for you. We're not loyal to anybody. We just want to find the best product so you don't go anywhere else.
Right. Well, you answered my next question, which was what type of insurance that you offer. And, you mentioned you do retirement and estate planning, health, long-term care, home and auto, life. I probably missed something in there, but the other thing, you are working in all states, correct?
Right. So for the life insurance, we're in all states. For the health insurance, we've chosen specific states to get our contracts with. Medicare, the same is true there. Auto, home, any type of property casualty, we've chosen specific states. So the best thing to do is just go to the website, kotoinsurance.com, fill out the quote request, and then we'll be able to call you back and let you know what we can help you with. But the good news is, the life insurance I feel is completely underserved. I want to touch on that real quick. Most people are definitely underinsured. So we want to look at anywhere from 10 to 15 times your annual earnings for the breadwinners. So if you're making $100,000 a year, you want at least $1 million to $1.5 million. And then you can even add on debt on top of that, your mortgage, things like that. If you're not the breadwinner and you just want to leave an estate for your children, that is your determination on what you think is appropriate. So,
well, and since you and I deal with a lot of stay-at-home moms too, I mean, for a mom of young kids, I think, and I'm sure you agree that it's so important to have life insurance, because if the mom dies suddenly, dad's going to have to hire a nanny and a lot of things. So anyone can contact you again on the website to get information on that. But let's go to the next subject, which is books. You have been very busy with your books, and you've got quite a few. You've got some digital download books. You see here. We've got your budgeting ebook for people that are looking for advice on how to start budgeting that just may not know where to start. You wrote a book on starting a side hustle. You have your emergency preparedness binder, and those are all digital books. I do think there's a link on your Koto site to get to the financial wellness with Vicki.
Right.
Let's Talk Money, a woman's guide to a lifetime of wealth. I know this was your best-selling book with Dennis Postma.
Yep.
And I'm really excited to hear that you guys have a few more coming out. So congratulations on that. The next one, Life After Work, Gaining Financial Peace of Mind in Retirement. That's available on Amazon. Do you want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah, that's my most recent book. And a lot of it I wrote when I was, in this beginning end of COVID, and it was actually able to be published and distributed at the beginning of COVID. It was distributed middle to the end of it. So I had some time. I wanted to finish it. I had started it about a year and a half, 2 years ago. Life after work. What do we envision our life to be when we stop working? There's going to be the day where either you get terminated or you decide to quit or you want to sell your business. And I just want to educate and teach people on how to live that life that you want to live after you're done working. And so I believe your financial peace of mind is going to determine how you live your life. And so if you can take these years from 20 to 50 and really be a steward of money. I talked to some other guests on really planning what your life is going to be like after work, then you can achieve those goals. If you just kind of winging it and hope it'll work, it probably won't work.
Right. Well, that's brings me next to the financial wellness platform that you've done in your Financially Fabulous Facebook group. I mean, you're creating a great service to people. I see the feedback that people come from all different walks of life. Yep. Many are not taught anything when it comes to basic financial literacy in school. Many parents choose not to share any of that with the kids. So, what you're doing is wonderful, and you've created a great sense of community where people can learn in a very, I guess I'd say, non-threatening way. Like no one's going to make them feel bad for coming on and not knowing how to start a budget, not knowing how to open up a savings account, all the way from people wanting, your advice on retirement. So some of the questions related to that, but for anyone that struggles to make ends meet or has had to rely on credit cards during COVID out of necessity just to get by, because you're in the financial wellness space, what advice do you have for somebody like that?
Well, obviously credit cards are there for emergencies. Hopefully you're not using them on everyday purchases because you spent your paycheck on mortgage or rent or things like that. But I'm a big believer in not spending money you don't have. So I've never gotten myself in credit card debt. I do have a credit card. I pay it off every month. I've just seen people, my clients coming in that have, $20, $30, $50,000 on credit cards, on multiple credit cards, paying 18, 19, 20%. And so one of the most important things that we've done is we've partnered with debt.com to teach people really being a steward of money, teaching them that you're going to pay for this somehow, and it's going to be more than what the original purchase was because of this finance charges they get you. And so debt.com helps you look at your debt, take stock and reevaluate your priorities, what's important for you. If you're spending more than you're making, you've got to then obviously take a look at your budget and dial down, dial back. You've got to stop spending more than you make and stop spending next week's paycheck to cover, your costs for this week. So super important. We want you to get out of debt, get rid of debt, stay out of debt. Consolidating debt is super important. We've got some really good tools with debt.com that can teach you, okay, whatever your debt is, let's consolidate it. Let's get it down into a payment plan. And in 3 to 4 years, it could be completely wiped out, and then teach you how to never get back into debt, because debt is going to haunt you, and it brings stress, and stress brings a lot of health issues. So we want to definitely stay out of debt if possible. Debt.com has professionals that can work with you, not only your credit card debt, but tax debt, student loan debt, credit score helping you, and much, much more. So we want to look at debt as a bad thing. some people say, well, debt's good. It helps my credit score if I pay it off on time. Wrong answer, probably. Yes, you want to have credit. You don't want to have debt. So credit's super important. We all need credit in order to buy a home or buy a car or rent something. But when you look at debt, sometimes I've got clients coming in equal to what their salary is for the year. So they got $40,000, $50,000 in debt and they got $50,000 income coming in. So we want to make sure that your debt gets paid off. So go to, debt.com.
You have a link that will take them to your dedicated team, and that's on your website. So we'll make sure that gets in.
So do that, and that way they'll know you're one of our favorite people, and they'll be sure.
Well, and you've got a good team there. They're really going to take good care of them.
Yeah. So super excited about that.
One of the other things, and I don't know how much, you talked about debt and the stress, and that it really can impact your wellness, and you're dealing with the financial wellness. And on this podcast, you brought up other different types of wellness as well. And just wanted to remind you that one of your former guests on this, Candy Washington, is doing a self-care workshop with your Financially Fabulous group. Mm-hmm. And that is in June. So we'll have more details on your website with that too.
Good.
But let's talk Puerto Vallarta. So one of the things, and I know Puerto Vallarta is not just a vacation spot where you happen to have a second home. When I went there a week ago, I was texting and emailing you on the plane because we don't ever stop working. Anyways, I landed and you texted me, welcome home. Mm-hmm. It is. I mean, I don't have a home there, but it is. It's home.
You go there multiple times a year and it's home.
Right. Yeah. And like you said, it's a spiritual reset.
Right.
But one thing that kind of got under my skin this week was you posted a picture of yourself in a sombrero on your Instagram on Cinco de Mayo. Mm-hmm. And you got some pretty unkind comments that I read, and I didn't respond to these people because it wasn't worth it. But they were insinuating that you were insensitive to the culture of Mexico and saying that you don't celebrate Cinco de Mayo in Mexico, which is not true because it was crowded. And I asked the taxi driver why there was so much traffic, and he said, well, it's a holiday. They're coming to celebrate Cinco de Mayo. Right. So anyways, I just kind of want to clear the air because nothing could be further from the truth. Right. And as we know, any day is a good day to whoop it up. And the people of Puerto Vallarta, they love it. Yeah. And when I say that you're an ambassador to Puerto Vallarta, what people don't realize is your friends down there are genuine. As you've seen, I've gotten a couple of videos that I have them do for your birthday the past couple of years. And when they do it, Vicki, they call you Vicki. You're not Vicki, you're Vicki. But Vicki is family. And when I get emails from them to send you birthday wishes, Vicki's our family. We're happy to do anything. And I just, really want to portray that about you, that it's a true, genuine, mutual admiration for you, as well as the people there. It's not your typical vacation spot.
Right. And, I think when my mom and dad introduced me to it 32 years ago, my dad built that condo that I also own over in Conchas Chinas. I've helped so many businesses prosper. I built a church there in Paso Ancho. I don't talk about it for anything other than just I appreciate it there and I love it there, and my family loves it there. So I don't look at Cinco de Mayo being anything other than just whoop it up, just have fun.
Exactly.
I didn't even read the bad comments because people do want to be negative, and I just can't do it anymore in my life. I had it for so long, and I just want everyone to be blessed and happy, and find your whoop it up wherever it is inside your soul, and just enjoy life. Like, why would you go on somebody's Instagram or page and be negative? There's no reason for it.
Maybe they're jealous that you've got a place there. That's the only thing I can think of, because I know and that there's nothing insensitive whatsoever. Like you said, you have helped put some businesses on the map there. I'm very much aware of that.
Yep.
Our friends that you've introduced me to multiple people down there, and I go and I see them, and they give me a hug when I see them. Or place, the spas, the massage people, from the people to the beach, everyone there. And it's just a matter of respect. So let's just get to the fun part of it.
Yeah.
So for somebody that is planning their very first visit, I mean, I know you and I've gone for so long, it's hard to say, but what do you think are the top 3 must-see things of Puerto Vallarta if you just have a couple days there?
Well, I don't know if people like history or not, but I love going to the Guadalajara church down the center. I think that is just so beautiful. It's got a crown on it. You can't miss it. It's the staple piece of Puerto Vallarta. Years ago, I used to go, and I'm not Catholic, I'm Lutheran, but I used to go to the service and it was in Spanish and it was so beautiful. The songs and the culture there is incredible. Yes. I love the Romantica zone. Just, you cannot get a bad meal in Puerto Vallarta. I love the sunsets. I just think venturing out during the day, be always aware of your surrounding. Ladies, do not wear fancy jewelry. You want to definitely dial it down. Just be conscious. We're still in in another country, and tourism is very important to them. So they do not want problems, but they're there. You just have to be aware. I don't go out alone. I go out during the day. At night, Steve and I'll go to dinner, or some friends will go to dinner. But you just have to be aware of, I think, just like no matter where you are, whether you're in Chicago, LA, anywhere people say, oh, is Puerto Vallarta safe? It's as safe as you want it to be. Right. So if you're conscious about where you're at, your surroundings, I wouldn't go walking at night alone, on the Strip or on the Malecon. You just be aware of where you're at. And I think, in 32 years, I've never, knock on wood, had anything happen, but I'm very aware. I bring only my credit card and a little bit of cash out with a crossover purse or a fanny pack. I put everything else in the safe in my house or in the hotel, and you take out the money that you need for the night. So if you do those precautionary things, you'll be fine.
Right. Nope, I think it's perfectly safe. And you're right, the food is so incredible.
Mm-hmm. Really good.
Over the years, what's been your favorite memory that you've had there? I know you've been there with family and friends, and what's one of your best memories there?
I just think about my children when they were younger and being there with my dad and mom. And I used to go for a month or two, all through January, all through February. My memories of my dad playing, volleyball or catch with my son, who was 8 or 9 at the time. And, those memories, when you create those, like you are with your children, they don't go away. They're just always in the back of my mind, always knowing that I love Puerto Vallarta because my parents did, so right. Memories there are just pretty incredible. Introducing Steve to Mexico. He had never been to Mexico when we started dating. And first 2 years, he was like, I don't know what the big deal is. And third year, really like it. Now he doesn't want to leave. So right. Basically living there part-time, full-time. So, yep. So that's the disadvantage of showing him a place like that,
I know what you mean. Yeah. And then, you're talking about your memories and your dad and everything. And I was there last week. I just kept seeing all those butterflies, and I was texting you pictures. Like one night we're there. I just feel like the butterflies are our parents that are passed and are coming to visit us. And yep. It was funny because I was sitting at the pool emailing you, and the place that I stayed is right next to your condo that you bought. And these butterflies are just like going over my head. And I'm like, look. And finally Chad looks at me and goes, what the heck are you doing? Okay, I see there's butterflies. Like, why do you keep putting this out? Are these like supposed to be a sign of something good?
Oh, funny. Isn't that funny? Yeah, but butterflies are supposed to be, our spirits of people.
Oh my gosh, they were everywhere. And I know that they were your parents and mine. So.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it is a special place, and I'm glad that you can explain to people that it's not just another vacation spot.
Right.
It's another home.
Pretty
so I've got a couple other questions here because we do want to talk about the real Vicki. So under the guide of how real is the real Vicki, the reality is you really like nice things, but at the same time, I've seen you, and I mean, you're at ease with anybody and anything. I mean, I've seen you fancy. I've seen you at pretty much a dive bar, and, I'll tell a story when we went to the dive bar and we're there, and there's, just listen to country music. It's all crowded. And I'm seeing you talking to these women, and I'm like, who's that? thinking that you've known them forever. And you're like, I don't know, I just met them. Like, that's what I want people to know. You're not this unapproachable. Yes, you are larger than life in some instances, but at the same time, like, you fit in with anybody, anywhere.
Yeah, because the show didn't make me lose my sense of where I come from. You know,
Right.
I think a lot of people being on TV for 14, 15 years kind of feel like they're larger than life. I'm not. I'm just like everybody else. I had an opportunity to have a really great opportunity to be on a reality show for a long time, but I'm not on it anymore. And so you always have to remember where you came from. You always have to remember that your roots are your roots. And I think being from Chicago versus being from here really kind of sets me apart a little bit. A lot of people, you know, they lose their sense of reality if they marry into money, or if they, you know, have a lot of money, or have never, you know, have only been on TV, and then that TV goes away. You better figure out who you're going to be, because that's just not going to last for forever.
Right. Like I said, I've seen you, and that reminds me on that night, because I love this story. When we were driving home, I felt like we were in college together or something, because you go, hey, do you want to stop at In-N-Out? I mean, yes, we could have gone to some fancy restaurant. I'm like, yeah, let's do In-N-Out. And you just had this order that you need to share because it's really cute. So share your order.
So I do the Flying Dutchman, which is just 2 hamburger patties with cheese in the middle, but you have to say a Flying Dutchman fried with mustard and pickles. So they take the mustard and they fry it on the cheese, and somehow, some way, it tastes super good. And you eat it with a fork, and it's keto. So Analisa, say to everybody that you've been following Brianna's keto page.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I've got more of that. That's coming up.
Yeah. So, and Analisa, you lost weight on that, and you didn't have to, but you're a little itty bitty girl, and you lost weight in your tummy, I think, right? That was a big deal for you, you said.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's kind of bringing me to the next one, but you know, you're known as a housewife, but since I have been to your house, I can tell that you were a real life housewife, because it's obvious that you take a lot of pride in your house. And I mean, it was decorated absolutely beautiful, but at the same time, I felt like it was really comfortable. Like, I didn't feel like I was in a museum, but it was gorgeous. And obviously, I love the way that you decorate. And I think that's something that you like, but you need to tell everybody about the beds, because I like the beds. So
my beds are super important to me, and
so good.
Everybody that sleeps in my house always says they love the beds. So I'm, you know, I think a lot has to do with, I do a pillow top mattress. I flip it every two to 3 months. So I don't really have a lot of people sleeping in that downstairs bed, but every 6 months on the downstairs bedroom. Upstairs, I flip it every 2 to 3 months. So you never get like lopsided. It'll kind of flip back up. Both sides are pillow top. And then I get a super comfy, very squishy mattress pad. So it's going to have down in it. And then I do, my sheets are always Jennifer Adams sheets. And I get the top of the line. They're like $200 or $300 for a king set. And they're like butter. And then super great pillows. I do silk pillowcases for people that are ladies that want to preserve their hair and their skin. And I just think like your home and your beds are kind of an indication of how you take care of everything. So my bed is always made every day. I know some people say, well, why do we have to make the bed if nobody's coming over? You have to make your bed every day. It's the start of your day. You make your bed, you have it be perfect. And then you go on your day. But so anyway, beds are really, they've always been important to me. My mother was a big bed freak, and now I'm a bed freak. My sister too. So my daughter too. So
what's your favorite thing to decorate? Because you're in the middle of redoing the new house.
My bedroom and my kitchen are super important to me. So what I'm moving this week, and I'm about ready to lose it. It's just a lot. So if I can get my bedroom and my bedroom, my bathroom, my kitchen unpacked and settled, I'll feel better. I can wait on the other rooms right now, but right now my focus is my bedroom, my kitchen.
And I'm sure it'll be amazing.
Yeah, my kitchen's not going to be ready because there's no counters in the I'm redoing the whole thing. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see it's like a progress, but it's all going to be brand new. I bought a house I don't really like. So inventory was super small. So in order for me to feel like proud of it, I had to gut it. So
it's going to be awesome.
I'm calling it a jewel box. How's that?
It's going to be great. I can't wait to see it.
Good.
But another one of your housewife traits is I know that you like to cook.
Yeah.
And there have been comments on your recent weight loss because yes, you've lost weight and you look amazing. And I know that Brianna's been a huge inspiration to you with her keto. You talked about that. You have me following her. What would you say? Do you consider yourself a good cook?
I do. I don't eat packaged food. You won't see much in my freezer. I am going kind of, and have been for the last 5 years, where the Europeans go get their bread in the morning. I don't eat bread anymore, but they go get their meat in the morning, or they get it for 2 days. I don't like freezing meat. So I've got a couple things of ground beef in there if I want to make a ground beef stew or something, but most of my meat is fresh. All my vegetables are fresh. I don't buy canned vegetables. I don't buy frozen vegetables. You lose nutrients in that. So our body is our temple. And I really believe that what we put in is how we're going to be regarding health-wise. So I'm a big stickler on health and eating healthy.
So what would you say is, like, if you needed to bring food to a party or something, what is your signature dish?
Well, I love appetizers. Depending if I'm doing keto or not, I love bringing fresh vegetables and a dip, whether it's the ranch dip with the sour cream. But just keeping things fresh. When you eat fresh food and you eat a fresh broccoli and you eat fresh pea pods or jicama, I put jicama with that tahini on it, like they do in Mexico. And just if you look at Europe and you look at Mexico, they are eating healthy and fresh. There's no preservatives in most of their food. They're not freezing their meat and then bringing it out. They're going and getting their meat from the meat market that day, and they're cooking it, or chicken, or their tortillas are made every day. Like, it's not this processed stuff. And I think that's why cancer's on the rise. I think that's why people are getting sick, is because we're eating too much processed food. So if we go back to, just eating healthy and clean, Brianna doesn't do pasta. She does a zoodle. So she takes her cucumber and she shreds it, and she puts her favorite dish, which I love. You put olive oil in the bottom of a pan, you put a block of feta cheese in the middle, and then put the little tomatoes, cut them in half, all different colored tomatoes, and you cook that. You can put pine nuts in there, you can do spinach, and then once it's done, it kind of just is real gooey, and you could put it over those zoodles, the zucchini noodles, and it's like the best dinner. I've made
that too. So easy.
Super easy and really healthy.
Yeah, but you still get your in and out every once in a while. I mean, let's be real. We got to do that. One of the viewers' questions, we had someone named Sherry Cummins says, "You look amazing. What is your skincare routine?"
So those of you that watched me on the show, I'm going to kind of shoot it close up. Years ago, I have always had cystic acne. I inherited it from my father. So my skin actually was bumpy and I was embarrassed. It looked like a landfill. So I had a doctor reach out to me, Dr. Obaji in Laguna Beach, and he said, "Please come in, free consultation. You're a mess." I'm like, "I know, I've tried everything." So for me, getting the cystic acne away was the biggest priority, and then changing my skin texture. So he put me on Accutane, 20 milligrams, 3 days a week. So 60 milligrams a week. It's a low dosage, but I've been on it for probably 7 years.
Wow.
It's not good if you're going to have children or in baby making days. But for me, it was the only thing that got the cyst gone. Then after that, they retextured my skin by using the Zenobaji skincare. So that's the only thing I'll ever use. It's Zenobaji. Most of your plastic surgeons in your area can subscribe it. It is definitely a prescription strength. The cleanser, the toner, the everything, and it restructured my skin. I'm a big believer of sunscreen. I've yelled at Analisa for getting too tan. Because
I had sunscreen 100. Your lady, I saw her there for a facial, and she gave me 100.
Good. So sunscreen, ladies, you need to, although a color looks good on our skin, you can just get a tint and make you look like you're tan.
Right.
But don't get your skin, your face, well, really everywhere should be protected. And so I've gone to the river my whole life, and I was always in the sun, but I always wore a hat and I always had sunscreen, and my doctors are always saying you preserved your skin. So I think that's important. And then I use really good products. I take care of my eyes. I had a lower eye lift years ago. It was called a pinch, where they took a little bit of extra skin on the top and bottom, and it didn't pull it or anything, but it got that extra skin gone. And then some of you saw on the show 3 years ago, I had a lower facelift. So I got my neck better. And I'm a big believer in, if you want to do it, do it. Don't let anybody tell you, oh, you're vain or what have you. I feel better with my skin done. And
you know what? It looks amazing. And
natural.
Whatever makes you feel good is what you need to do. People need to just keep their opinions to themselves.
I know. So I try. I'm going to be 60, so I'm trying my best to. I just turned 59, so I'm not pushing 60.
No, you're not. Okay, we can just stop with the age right now, because you don't look even close to 59. So. Anyways, with yesterday being Mother's Day, and I know that is a role that, I mean, it's just evident from talking to you how passionate you are about being a mother.
Right.
And I know that you have Brianna on as a guest. I think you're recording with her next week. I can't wait for you to share your recent road trip memories with her, because that was doozy.
Yeah, it was. Her and I never do anything easy. We're like, really, Mom? So yeah, that's exciting. I want everyone to hear about that. So
yeah, that's going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to hearing that one as well. But we've talked, and I know that when your kids are grown, but obviously that doesn't mean your role as mom is any less.
Never ends.
It changes, and I think I heard something really good, is that when they're younger, your role is a manager, because you can make their decisions for them. But once they hit, as we know, when they hit 18, the rules change, and you move more into a consultant role. Right. I think it's a way to put it. But now that your kids are grown, and like we said, the worry never goes away, but what were the most challenging ages?
I think when I go back to the high school, they want to push their buttons, and I've got some friends that are still having their kids in high school, as well as you. And
I'm in the thick of it. Yep.
And they definitely want to see what they can get away with. I think the best thing that I've ever taught and told people was, whatever grade they're in is what time they need to be home. So if it's 7th grade, 7 o'clock, 8th grade, 8 o'clock, 9th grade, 9 o'clock, 10th grade, 10 o'clock, 11, and then senior year is midnight. Nothing good happens after midnight. People get killed in car accidents, sex happens, drugs happen. Nothing good happens. So at senior year of high school, my kids knew at midnight they had to be home, whether it was a football game, cheerleading, whatever they were at. And I usually was the one picking them up. Also, I never allowed them to have sleepovers. They could have one sleepover a month at my home, but never, ever at anybody else's. I had Brianna tested my limits one time where the mother and father went to sleep. They went out with some boys in a car, and it was, they were freshmen, the boys were juniors, and that was it. Because the mother and father did not watch those children. I mean, I have alarms on my door, so if a door opened, I would have known. But so I think that if you have young kids, be strict. I mean, Brianna and Michael to this day say, you know what, Mom, you saved us from so many things that other kids were doing. We didn't do.
Hard. What was your favorite age?
When they graduated college. I got my kids educated, and that was the most important thing to me, is getting my children educated and with no debt. So for me, I wanted them to go to good schools. Brianna got her nursing degree. Michael got his psychology degree, and then he started working for me. So, I think that when you get your kids educated on their own, you raise good people, good citizens, responsible people. Your job's well done. So that was good for me.
So when Brianna is a grandma, I mean, I know, oh my gosh, I've seen you like so stressed out, you could barely focus. And when I say something about the grandsons, your whole body language changes. And I remember you were freaking out about something. We were having lunch in your conference room, and I said, well, tell me about Troy. And you got out your phone and you called him on his little watch.
Yeah.
And everything changed. And I mean, they own you.
They're pretty incredible people.
They are. And they're very lucky to have you. But when Brianna's a grandma, I know it's a long ways off, but what is something that you hope that Brianna will share about her childhood with her grandkids? Like, this is what my mom did. This is what I want to do.
I really think that Brianna is a chip off the old block. She is chip off the old block. She's super responsible. She's a nurse. She's a go-getter. And she's just a good person. But I think she's going to carry on the strength of a mother in the home, being a good housewife, being a good wife, being a good mother. Just education's important to us. So I think all that. I'm pretty confident she's going to be an incredible grandmother, and she's going to love on her grandkids the way I do.
Right. What is some of the best advice you got from your mom?
Always keep a nice home. Always. And always have a good meal on the table for your children. And she was an incredible mother.
Yeah. And I know you missed her. Yesterday was hard.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Real Housewives.
Mm-hmm.
Looking back, what do you wish was different?
I wish I would have realized that a lot of the women that were picking at me were doing it for ratings, and they weren't really doing it to me personally. And that was a hard line to decipher. Do they love me? Do they hate me? Why are they doing this? And being off of it now, I realized they had a role to do. There was producers pushing their buttons and, doing things that may or may not have been truthful, but it's, I think I should have not reacted but I had to defend myself many, many, many times,
right.
Mistruths. So
do you think that the viewers got an accurate portrayal of you and who you are as a person?
I think they accurately knew I was very passionate about whether it's my family or my work or what have you. The hard part is I don't know what's in people's minds. I just know what I know, which is work hard, be a good person, and have a lot of fun and whoop it up.
Right.
That's what we got to do, right?
Right, exactly. And how real do you think these shows are? I know we've talked about how before it kind of showcased things, what people wanted to live like, and how it's almost like what you don't want to live like.
Yeah.
To some extent, but obviously you were the start of this, and things have really evolved in 15 years. What's your take on the evolution of the entire franchise, like where it's going, where it started?
Well, we're sunset right now, which means we're not airing or filming. When I say we, my show, I say my show.
Well, of course.
So
of course.
People used to get mad. I say my show. I'm like, well,
you can say it.
It can be theirs too, but it's mine. But I just feel like the reality shows, are they really real? And I only know with me, everything I filmed was real. 100% everything I filmed was real. So now with other shows, they got to create drama. They got to create, something, or then nobody's going to watch it. So it did become sometimes like, is this real? Is this not real? But for me, it was all real. Everything I did.
Well, I mean, I know you say that, but we've been friends for a long time now. And you know what? I don't think we fight.
No, never.
You've never yelled at me.
No, I would never.
That's what all these ladies do on the show. I mean, that part, is that acting?
It's not acting, but if somebody tells you something and the viewers are going to see this, like they said I was with multiple partners in my life. I've never been with multiple partners. Right. So when they did that to me, I was like, this is going to air. So you betcha I'm going to stand up for myself. There's no way I want my husband or my children to see something so not that it's bad or good. It's just not me. So, I got really, really upset with that. That was really hard to see people lying about me. Yeah.
Right. Was there ever a time when you were filming, like you guys had a fight that maybe was embellished, and then when filming is over, did you guys go out afterwards and have fun? Like,
No, not for me. The other women maybe, but not for me. I was very, very real in everything I did. If they hurt me, they were not going out for dinner with me later.
Got it.
No.
So what's something that you would have wanted to be portrayed different?
I wanted more of my business to show. And I don't think they did show enough of it. They just didn't. They didn't show enough of my business because it was boring. It wasn't sensationalized. It wasn't, it was just too boring.
Right. Well, I mean, insurance isn't exactly the most exciting thing for most people. I mean, you and I, we like insurance, but
I know.
it's not.
I know.
And what's one of your favorite memories from the show?
In a whole, I just think seeing my children grow up on camera and seeing the person that they've become, they're just good people. So that's good.
So do you go and watch it?
Yeah, I haven't turned back and watched a lot, but we've got it on as an opportunity, down the road to always go back and see it.
That's nice.
It's good.
That's nice. And anything else?
I have a call at 1. So, but no, Analisa, you are one of the most important people in my business career and in a friendship. And I just thank you for always having my back. And, if it wasn't for the show, I wouldn't have met you. So I want to thank you for that.
I know. And I love you. And I'm so very thankful to have you in my life. And,
been fun. Yeah. We got a lot of life left in us, right?
Yes. And we've got a lot of, big things planned, and I cannot wait to tell you because you only know some of them.
Yeah.
And
I'm looking forward to it.
I know. It's going to be good. So.
Well, good. Thanks everyone for watching Reality with Vicki, and hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Please subscribe to us, give us 5 stars, and we'll stay on the air. So I want to thank everyone. Have a great day. Bye.
Now, glutathione is a big word, but it's the body's own master antioxidant. So it's a scavenger for free radicals, for bacteria, and what's relevant now, viruses. This is new to the marketplace. There's no other product on the market that has the ingredient NACET.
And basically NACET increases the production of that glutathione that is in our body already to strengthen and enhance our immune system and keep it strong. Elevated sense of well-being. Supports muscle strength and endurance. Cognitive function. Powerful liver support. Energy. Helps blood sugar regulation. Superior bioavailability of key ingredients.
One of your best defenses against COVID is a strong immune system. Taking GSH Plus as a daily supplement does all that. And now we have the product out on the marketplace.